smoke. OVS, Old Virginia smoke.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. I'm your host, Luke Darnell. I will deconstruct world-class pitmasters to extract the tactics, tools, and routines you can use at home, in your backyard, and in the competition barbecue world. This will include morning routines, habits, tricks, and much more. You will hear from cooks from around the world. We will discuss what's challenged them, how they handle adversity, and where they turn to for advice and counsel. Our very first guest is Bill Gillespie, pitmaster of Smokin Hoggz BBQ out of Abingdon, Massachusetts. Smokin Hoggz have an impressive resume, including the 2011 Jack Daniel's World Championship and the 2014 American Royal Invitational Championship. Bill also has a line of barbecue sauces and rubs and 3 grilling and smoking cookbooks available. So sit back, relax, and listen to this great conversation with Bill Gillespie. One of my favorite Bill Gillespie stories happened up at the Rock City Rib Fest in Rochester. Tell me about your fascination with that PBR hat.
So at the time, that's all we drank was PBR. And Jessie, this girl, Jessie was there with her husband, and they were competing.
They were part of Diva Q's.
Yeah,
team,
at one point, yeah. They went off and did their own thing after that. But so she had this PBR hat, and it was a stocking cap with a ball on it and everything. And I was like, oh, I got to get that hat. So I walk up to her. I said, hey, Jessie, I said, what do I have to do to get that hat? She thought for a second. She goes, you got a streak from here to the end of it was about 100 yards away, to the end of the pavilion and back. I said, can I wear my underwear? She goes, yeah, that's fine. So I said, all right, done. I stripped down to my underwear. I slowly jog out, jog back. Everybody's jaw dropped. Nobody took out their phone there was no pictures, no video, nothing. I think everybody was just shocked that I actually did it. And sure enough, she gave me the hat, and I still have it.
It's one of my favorite barbecue stories, because at that point we didn't know each other that well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here's a Royal and Jack winner running across this park in his underwear for a $3 hat. It is amazing.
And there really wasn't that much alcohol involved.
No.
It was early.
You're right. Nobody took out their phone, and everybody just sort of stared. And it was... It was kind of cold that night, if I recall. It was a little chilly. Chilly.
Well, I'm Irish anyway, so.
So, Bill, tell me, what does your competition planning look like a week out from a competition?
If I got a competition coming up, Monday, I start looking for chicken, sourcing chicken. Not saucing, sourcing. Tim will like that.
Tim will like that.
I'll trim stuff, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Get everything all trimmed, load up the trailer, go shopping for stuff that I need. It's a week-long process, If I'm doing a bunch in a row, it starts, I'll get home, because up here in the Northeast, we do contests of Saturday, Sunday mostly. So I'm getting home late Sunday night. Sometimes I'll take Monday off just to kind of recover, and then maybe start Tuesday, but it's a week-long process, getting stuff ready.
Are you making your sauces and injections during the week as well?
No, I usually make them on site.
Okay.
I like them fresh. It's just something I've always done. I've never really made them ahead of time. My wife does all that. She'll make all while I'm seasoning and stuff at the contest, she'll make all my injections and everything.
It's great to have a teammate like that.
Absolutely.
My wife's my teammate, and it's the same way. And
it's I just couldn't imagine doing it solo. I've never done a solo contest. But having her there, I'm messy. And she comes up behind me, and we're usually cleaned up by 2 o'clock, 2:15 after a contest.
It's fantastic. Yeah. I can testify to that as well, and I don't think that our teammates, our spouses in this, get enough credit throughout the barbecue world, because they're every bit as responsible for the success that we have as we are.
Yep.
And do you have an organizational chart of when things need to be done during the week, or is it just sort of ingrained in your brain?
Sort of ingrained, I don't really have a set time. I mean, when I'm here at the contest, I sort of have I'll do ribs, pork, brisket, and then finish with chicken. Mm-hmm. Just the way I've always done. I don't know why. It's just that's the way I do it.
And that leads kind of into our next topic area of what are some of your habits some of your rituals. I know that you're a superstitious guy,
my
like
God,
we all are.
Oh, God.
And routines. Like,
And-
what's your competition like?
So the superstition started when I was a kid playing baseball. You started young, and so everything is your superstitious. So I wear a certain pair of underwear. I wear my shorts. I have certain things like this. There's underwear I won't wear ever, just because.
You have a specific brand of underwear you wear?
I do. MeUndies.
MeUndies. I'm a MeUndies guy myself
It's
too.
life changing. I'm telling you. I have them on now. Matter of
What
fact.
are you rocking right now?
I got my Elf ones.
Oh, nice.
So,
I have on the breakfast.
I think I brought mine.
You brought your breakfast?
Ones.
Yeah.
And I got my s'mores ones for later.
Oh, nice. I feel like underwear is going to be a popular topic on this show.
I think so.
But are there any other like rituals or things that like?
Yeah, I'm a big hairband guy. I love 80s metal hairband stuff. So we'll listen to that during competition. And there's no really set song. It's just as long as it's 80s hair metal, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I know it's a couple times that we've been next to each other. I have to be like, Bill, can we get a pause on this and maybe throw in some hip hop in there for the OVS?
And I do like the old school hip hop. I love 80s hip hop. I love all that stuff too.
And it's always fun to see what other people like and what gets them going. And we were listening to some nice 80s music last night. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Groove on Sirius Radio.
That's cool. I think we all have some routines and rituals and things that make our life easier throughout the competition, especially for like a double.
Yeah. And here we are for a triple.
Here we are in New Jersey for a triple, right? And Kim and I have spent all day today, like getting everything ready and trying to do as much as we can today while we have energy.
Yeah, I had planned that, but I got up a little late today.
Maybe had a couple IPAs last night.
Indulged a little too much last night, but that's okay.
Right on. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some stuff, like some deep-seated stuff in terms of barbecue, and like who has impacted your life the most in competition barbecue, you think?
Chris Hart. Absolutely. 100%. So we took his class back in 2010.
IQ.
Yeah, IQ. Out of Massachusetts. And, he won the Jack in 2009. First team from New England, from the Northeast, to win the Jack Daniels type contest, world championship. So he had a class he was offering in 2010, and I saw it. I talked to my teammate Al. I said, dude, we got to take this class. And we went there, and I tell you, it changed my world. Like, just the stuff. We were close, but it was the little tiny things that I learned. And Al and I basically spent that entire off season. I bought the cooker. I bought a backwoods Fat Boy from him, off of him. It was his teammates. We spent every weekend for 6 months just learning that cooker. Every weekend. And then, it's just the stuff that I learned from that class. And, I adapted it to my style of cooking. You learn things. And so, he was definitely influential.
And I think that's one thing that I know that I would tell a brand new pitmaster or a young pitmaster starting out is when you're committed to a cooker and you find something you like, you have to put in the time.
You do. You have to learn your cooker. And it's funny because I see people, teams and whatnot, like every year changing cookers, and it's like, it's not the cooker. You got to learn it. Learn what you're cooking on. That you're going to be successful. Yeah. Because every cooker is different.
Right, and you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to practice. It's a sport. To get better, you got to practice, like baseball.
Right.
You're not just naturally going to be hitting home runs. It takes time. You got to develop a swing. You got to develop stuff like that. So.
Right. So, is there an example when you said you've spent a lot of time practicing and everything, so you develop these intuitions?
Yeah.
And things like when something's supposed to come off, and you get is there a time when your intuition didn't make any kind of sense?
Yeah, this is early on, probably 2011, and brisket. It's taken forever. And normally my brisket's off by between 9 and 10. It's like clockwork. I know it's coming off. Well, this thing just would not budge, and I'm like, I gotta leave it on. And trust me, I wanted to pull it. I ended up pulling it at 1:45. Literally 45 minutes before turn-in. I steamed it down, I rested it, whatever. You got 30 minutes to rest it, and I sliced into it. I'm eating it. God damn, I said, this is probably the best brisket I've ever cooked. First place brisket.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, I had to keep it on because it wasn't,
Right.
you're so used to pulling it at a certain time, and it just wasn't done. And it paid off. It was weird. Trust me, I was freaking out like, oh my God, this is like, you're not supposed to do this, but.
Right. I have a theory about resting of briskets, and I think it's false. I've won with briskets that have rested, like taken them off the cooker and sliced them.
Yeah.
Or they've sat there for 4 hours.
4, 5, 6 hours. Sometimes you're pulling it off at 7 in the morning, going, it's done.
Right.
You know, and it's weird.
And that's another thing that I would say to a young pitmaster too, is that every piece of meat is different.
Yeah.
They're all going to react differently.
Mm-hmm. You got to know what that feel is. You when you're probing it, you got to know, and it's weird, like especially with these higher fat briskets, you know, like Wagyu and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It may feel good, but you can pull it off, slice it, and you can still see the fat, and it's not. You got to make sure it's rendered out.
Yeah.
You know, it's tricky.
It really is. So when you're having issues in barbecue, you know, you're one of the best pitmasters in the world.
Thank you.
But who do you turn to when you have a barbecue issue? Like if something's wrong and you're struggling, who do you look to? Who do you seek counsel with?
I've met a lot of good people in barbecue, and become really good friends with people. So I kind of trust them, like you. I'm not afraid to ask you for advice. You know, it's like my close friends and that I've made through barbecue. I kind of confide in them a little bit if I'm having an issue, and you know, I say, hey, look, I said, you help me, I help you, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
You know?
And we try and always be there for other people and
absolutely
and help as much as we can. It's one of those things that coming out here and cooking food for 6 strangers, it'll drive you nuts.
Oh yeah,
you know, and
but you know, even getting started, I would spend hours upon hours on the internet. Just this is before I really knew anybody, so I'd do my own research and you know, learn that way. But then you become friends with people and just a little bit of everything, really.
Right. And I think that's what classes have really changed a lot of how this works, and it's really jumped the learning curve for a lot of people.
It really has. Like, I mean, when I first started, there was hardly any classes.
Yeah.
And now everybody's doing classes. It's made the competition a lot harder.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, before, like, you could get a one call, 8th place in whatever, walk away a grand champion. I mean, that's what happened to us at the Jack.
Right.
We had one call and we won the Jack, you know. So, but now you seriously need, even you can get 4 top 10s and still not win.
Absolutely.
You know, it's that tight a competition now.
Yeah. So what has been the most surprising thing to come out of competition barbecue for you?
I never thought I'd have the success that we've had. You know, I have 3 cookbooks. I've got a line of rubs and sauces. I'm actually doing a 4th cookbook.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I decided to do another one.
What's this one going to be about?
It's, believe it or not, hot and fast on the Weber Smoky Mountain. So, they approached me, the publisher approached me and asked me if I wanted to do another one. And we tossed around a couple ideas, and they said, well, how about this? I said, yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. So, yeah, it'll be...
Is this your first mention of this new cookbook?
It is, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah. I
Wow.
haven't really said much to anybody, but you know.
Breaking news on the OVS podcast. That's fantastic.
Right.
That's great. I mean, it's one of those things, like, I don't think either one of us ever thought we would get what we've gotten out of barbecue. Yeah. And it's truly a blessing.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't mean to interrupt, but
no.
I think one of the biggest things is the friendships. You
right.
know, it's awesome. Like, we've met you.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's, if I wasn't in this, we wouldn't know each other. We wouldn't know each other, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
that's one of the things, like, you know, that I didn't expect when we first started doing barbecue was that we would develop these not only good friendships, but great friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I talk, not every day, almost every other day.
Exactly.
And just really, I think that's probably one of the most unexpected things that's happened to us.
Yeah.
Getting involved. And,
definitely.
I mean, we came to New Jersey on a Wednesday. We're staying until a Monday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, we go on vacation with each other. You know
exactly.
what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What were some of the best decisions? We talk about all the cookers that we've gone through and everything, and What are some of the best decisions that you've made since you first started cooking, like, that have really impacted where you've gone and what's gone on and what's happened?
Probably starting my own team.
Yeah.
You know, I was on a couple teams before this, and you know, they were good guys and everything. I just was looking for something a little different, and 2008 formed Smokin Hoggz BBQ, and I think that's probably the best decision I made. You know, I was able to do my own thing, you know, make my own decisions.
Right.
Being the pitmaster, making the calls, and yeah, it's probably like the number one thing, I think.
In terms of that, you know, you have your own team. When you start that, do you have a goal-setting process? Do you talk about that as a team, or do you have internal goals?
Yeah, we talk about it with my wife and everything, and we try to set yearly goals, and you know, we do like maybe 20 to 25 contests a year, and that's kind of what we can do, just because of I have a full-time job, so it's tough for me to for vacation time. So we're limited to what I can do. So we try to make the best of everything and just try to focus on the contests that we do. Even though, I mean, to compete for Team of the Year, it's like you need to be doing 40 to 50 contests, which I can't do. So
you've done very well in a few years.
We have,
yeah.
And we really have. We had a couple good years, and I mean, you know, we try to replicate it every year like that. If we can be that successful doing 20 to 25 contests,
right. And I know what that's like too, you know, running down and chasing points and cooking 14 weekends in a row.
You know, and we tried that a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I think. And at the end of it, it's just like, where's you out? You know, and it almost takes the fun out of it. So we kind of took a step back and said, you know, we just, we want to go for points, but we also want to have fun at it too. So
that's increasingly become more and more a part of Kim and I's decision-making process in terms of where we're going to go and cook. We have friends now all over the country, so and we're not afraid to travel and go to different places.
Same here.
Exactly, and that's when Barbecue Fight Club happened earlier this year.
It was fun. I mean, it was a first-time thing. It was cool, just 6 teams like that getting together and doing that. I'd definitely do it again.
It was fun, and because I remember getting the invite, and you texted me and said, "Hey, are you doing this?" And I remember being like, "Say yes, we need to go. Just say yes. We'll have a great time."
Yep.
Bethany will be there. Darren will be there.
Yep.
Tim will be there. Kelly will be there. It'll be a blast.
Oh,
let's just go. And let's just go and have fun, and we did have fun. It was, you know, in the midst of everything that's going on right now,
we needed it.
We needed it. And it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure the next one will be a lot better in terms of the content and stuff. And I think fun is like a major component of what we do. What do you think is missing from competition barbecue these days? You think anything's missing from it?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a little bit. What do you think is missing?
I think back when we first got started 8-9 years ago, there was a lot more camaraderie and a lot less competitiveness.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you know, now that you mention that, we used to. There was a team up this way called Lunch Meat, and they would make one of the teammates, Sully. He would make damn dip, and it was a communal thing.
Right.
And it would be ready by midnight, you know, on the first night, like Saturday night.
Yeah.
Everybody, I mean, they would have this huge cast iron pan, and it was called damn dip. And I said, well, first of all, what is damn dip? And it was like, it's the best damn dip you'll ever eat. That's why it was cream cheese, chili, hot peppers, salsa, cheese, all that mixed, just a big giant. And they would have like 6 bags of chips. And you jump in, and you'd watch all the first timers go in right after it comes off, and it's piping hot. It's gonna melt your skin. You gotta wait about 10 minutes.
You gotta let her cool down.
You gotta let it cool down, and then you go in, right? And I think that's what's missing. And that's a good point you brought up. You like every single team that was at the contest would be there, and it would be a big social hour.
Right.
And you don't see that anymore, really.
I remember our first competition, and we didn't know anybody, and we got invited up to a circle of the best people in barbecue, you know, and we had guitars, and they wanted us to play some songs, and there were jars of moonshine, and I mean, you can't pass around the bottle right now, but there was a lot of that, and I think that I think that's the one thing that's kind of gone away that I would like to see come back.
I think people are too serious sometimes.
I agree.
You know, you got to have some fun. I mean, even in the middle of I'm cooking, I'm doing turnings, whatever, I'm still trying to have fun.
Right.
Because that's just what I want to do. You know, I think it's my personality, and you know, I try to be. I'm serious when I have to be, but I mean, I want to have fun. I want to win, but I also want to have fun.
Right, and that's I enjoy that they've started adding some steak contests to some of these, because I know when you and I are beside each other, we put the grills right beside each other and just talk an unbelievable amount of shit, make fun of each other's steak, and it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and you know, I try not to take those too seriously either, because it just ruins it.
Right,
and I love cooking steak. I love eating steak, so why not? They give you 2 free steaks, so why not, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of great things about competition barbecue, and I think there's some stuff that we can, you know, get back into.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you know, in the years that we've gotten to know each other, that you are probably one of the most confident pitmasters I've ever met. You're not cocky, but you're confident. You trust in your ability. Where does that confidence come from?
It's probably from when I was a kid, probably playing sports. Like, just, you know, you realize that, okay, well, you know, you learn. I grew up playing baseball, so that's why I use that as an example. And you got to practice it. You got to go out there, and you got to have confidence in yourself that you can do it.
Right.
And you know, you can't get up to the plate and be afraid that you're going to get hit by the ball. Yeah, it's going to hurt for a second, but you got to stay in there, and you got to have confidence that, you know, you're going to hit the ball. It's just something that I think it over time happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's always been one of the things that I've admired the most about you, is that, you know, you're going to cook your food. You're not going to get caught watching the guy next to you. Yeah. You know, because you know that your stuff's good, and you know you've proven it.
I'm not afraid to take chances either.
No, you're not.
You know that. You know.
I might tell a story on you.
Yeah, that's okay. My wife, she likes to. She hates change. So, with everything going on in the world now with the whole COVID stuff, and today being like the last day to qualify for the Jack, she goes, after today, she goes, you can do whatever you want. I said, good. I said, I want to do chicken wings. Chicken.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find any. All the dates were, you know, a couple of days before. I didn't want to take a chance. I had, you know, bad chicken. Right. So I'm not doing chicken wings, but I wanted to. I'm bummed, actually.
This reminds me of Barbecue Gives Back Day 1 last year.
Yeah.
You want to tell everybody what you did there?
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Okay. All I remember is that you looked across at me and you started shaking this chicken breast at me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was at Atlantic City.
Oh, no, Atlantic City, that's right. And it was cold in March, and you started shaking this thing at me, and I looked at you and said, "Don't do it."
Yep. and the story behind that, so because we had done it twice before with good results. Yeah. And so we went to King of the Smoker in 18. So they, you know, you get 2 whole chickens, and you could turn in whatever you want as long as there's 6 pieces. So I did the 2 chicken breasts, and I took the dark meat and I shredded it. Yeah. It looked great. It tasted good. So, fast forward like a month and a half, we're down in Florida, do the same thing. We get like 14th out of 65 teams with it. I'm like, all right, this is good. Next contest was about a month and a half later down in Atlantic City. I said, I'm going to do the same thing. I friggin' 57th out of 64 teams.
With 3 other good calls.
3 other good calls, finished 4th at chicken. All I needed to do was finish 49th in chicken, and we would have GC'd it.
I remember you shaking that, holding that breast up and shaking it at me, and I remember going, "Don't do it."
Yep. So, lesson learned.
Only a couple more things here, a couple more questions for you. So, this is the one question when you looked at him that you were kind of like, "Wow, what are we going to think? What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your barbecue life in the last year or recent memory?"
The last case of beer I bought. No. Ah, man. Honestly, it's probably, I bought a new thermopen. Not a thermopen, it was Lava Tools Javelin Pro. Okay. Half the cost of the thermopen. It was like $40.
Okay.
just as good, just as reliable.
Okay.
I mean, I use it all the time. You have to. You need a
You gotta have
thermometer.
something,
You need a
yeah.
reliable thermometer. And did I really want to spend $100 on another thermopen? So I found this one. It's $40, $45, whatever it was. Yeah, I'd probably say that.
A good thermometer is a necessity.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of in the barbecue 10 commandments. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't have an instant read that's very accurate, then
Yep.
you might as well just not even be here.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for being on here, and I just want to tell another story to end.
Yeah.
This past January was my first trip down to Lakeland,
Yeah.
and took my father with me.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was, and he still talks about you and Sean to this day, and it was just a great experience. It was the first time I ever cooked with my dad.
Yep.
And you and I have both recently lost our mothers around the same time.
Yep. Yeah, within a couple weeks.
Yeah. And it was Dad's first trip out, and you and Sean were so fantastic to my dad. And it was funny during awards. I had three high calls.
You did. Yep.
And I'm texting my dad, and because he had left because his leg was hurting, and I'm like, "Hey man, look, we're in the mix."
Yeah.
And he's please tell Bill and Sean.
Yeah.
Please tell Bill and Sean I really enjoyed their company. I'm like, Dad, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Like
we
might
have a chance to win this.
We might win or finish second.
I remember he's like, I don't care. Just tell Bill and Sean.
Right. Just tell Bill and Sean that they're great people, and I will always. That's in my top 3 barbecue memories of all time, and
that's awesome.
It's a testament to what kind of people you and Sean are.
Yeah,
so
well, thank you. I
really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Want to give you an opportunity to highlight who your sponsors are and who your partners are?
Humphrey Smokers.
Absolutely.
I've been cooking on them since 2013.
Huge fan. I bought 2 of them myself. Yeah.
Hammerstall Knives, Whiskey Bent Barbecue down in Florida,
Absolutely.
Lakeland, Florida.
Chad Ward, much respect.
It's Compart.
Yeah.
Barbecue Guru.
Absolutely.
Royal Charcoal.
Yep.
I hate this. Every time I go to make my post on Facebook, I'm like, I have to count how many. I know
Right.
I'm missing somebody. I apologize. Butcher Barbecue. How can I forget him?
Yeah, absolutely. How can people find you online?
So we're on social media. We have a Facebook page, Smokin Hoggz BBQ. We're on Instagram at Smokin Hoggz BBQ, Twitter at Smokin Hoggz BBQ. Yeah, like I said, we got a line of rubs and sauces. We're trying to come up with some more stuff. And it's just
And the 4th cookbook on the way.
And a 4th cookbook. Yeah, it's funny because I thought it was a good idea, and then until I start writing, and then it's like, oh man, it's fun. I enjoy it. I'll complain about. I'm a last minute guy.
Yeah.
So
got to have a deadline.
Yeah, I have a deadline, and I was supposed to start writing back in like June. Here we are at the beginning of August. And I've got half the recipes done. I should have all of them, but it's.
Well, I'm excited for it. I have the other 3.
Yeah.
I was blessed to write the forward on
the
one
last
of them.
one. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great honor. I sort of asked you if I could do it.
I was like, sure. Yeah. And I have another guy, Chip Chapman. He's writing the forward for this one.
Oh,
He's
excellent.
The MC for the Jack for the last. Ever since day one, he's been doing that, and.
Great.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Excellent, man. Yeah. Well, after that comes out, maybe we'll have you back on. We'll go through it. Maybe we'll do like a live video of cooking through some of the recipes.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'd be into that.
All right, great. Well, thanks for being on, Billy.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it. This was good. I like this.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast. For show notes about each episode, links to products and events discussed, please visit www.oldvirginiasmoke.com/podcast. We will see you next time with more insight into the world of barbecue champions. For companies interested in advertising, please contact Old Virginia Smoke directly via www.oldvirginiasmoke.com. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is edited by Chris Sedenka. Pitmaster, an Old Virginia Smoke podcast, is a property of Old Virginia Smoke, LLC. All rights reserved, copyright 2020. Please subscribe, rate, and review Pitmaster wherever you listen to this fine barbecue show. It really helps us grow, and we thank you for that.